Major fail. This is the video following up on did I break my 5-minute mile? And I set up around the track, carb loaded like I planned on doing, and I had my camera on the tripod and I didn't click record. Lovely times, but I figured, I made videos about this and it's important to follow through and let people know, did I actually break the 5-minute barrier or am I gonna continue to try and what's next? So that's what we're gonna get into today. I have my Coros data here and we're gonna go into the Coros data and just take a look at what happened. And it was a fun day, and I'll periodically throw some clips up because other people were there and recording, so I appreciated that. It was this past Saturday. It's kind of conflicting in a lot of ways. So the Coros data says that I did get the 5-minute barrier by running a 4:59. I made a workout of a 1.01 because I didn't want to get Strava taxed or anything like that. So the Coros data shows I ran a 4:59. Now, we did have somebody out there with their Apple Watch, or not Apple Watch, but their iPhone, just kind of recording, and he was yelling at me the splits. So as you see this chart right here, you can see my pace and my heart rate. I feel like those are probably the most important metrics, so to speak, but I started out and went out way too fast. So going around my first lap was, they yelled at me 105. It's the fastest 400 I've ever ran. And I knew at that point I was probably done, like I was cooked. But that's 10 seconds of banking. So I banked 10 seconds. And then as I slowly start coming around into the next lap, I think he caught out like a 110, which is another 5 seconds of banking time. So now I'm up to 15 seconds of banking time. Heart rate 194, ridiculous. Fastest 800 I've ever ran. Coming around to the 1K mark, 1K was the fastest 1K I've ever ran. And I think the third lap, I think he said I ran like a 117 or a 118. So now I'm giving back time. And then the last lap was the worst. And you can see as the pace falls off, I mean, it just drastically, 5:30, 5:45, 5:51, and I just couldn't hang on. But I came across the line and our Apple iPhone said 5 minutes, 0.88 milliseconds. Coros says that I ran a 4:59. So I really don't know if I did break it. I've been telling people that I ran a 5-minute and 1 second mile. I mean, I don't know. The GPS probably helped me out, but it probably also hurt me. I really don't know. But I did it on a track. I ran around lane 1 with the one goal of to run under 5 minutes.
Brandon, you're amazing.
And I ran it all wrong. Like, to be completely honest, there's no business running your fastest 400 when you're trying to run your mile. It didn't make any sense. If I would have evenly split the laps, probably 75, 75, 75, 74, I think it would have been just a lot easier and more like fluent. By literally the third lap, I was dead. I mean, I didn't even want to run the fourth one, but I had all my friends there supporting me, so that was the only reason why I did. It was a tough workout. Everybody wanted to know if I was going to run it again, since I didn't for sure get under 5 minutes, and I don't think I want to do that again. It would be nice to, just to say you did it and whatnot. There is a downhill 1 mile race. I think it's in May or June. I'd be interested in doing that. I'd like to see like how far under 5 I can go on like a super ideal course. We'll give that a shot this year. I've thought about doing it in the past and kind of schedules didn't work out or whatever. So I think this year is the year that we're gonna try it. And yeah, moving forward, the next race on the list is the Greenville Half Marathon. It is February 22nd. I'm doing this race mainly because I like it. I do it every year. It's a very fun, fast course, downhill, net downhill, point to point. It's no big deal. Typically pretty cold, which is great in terms of, like a good PR. I ran it last year, I ran a 127 even, like 127.00. So the goal going into this one is a tune-up. I would like to PR, probably want to shoot around 123. 123.30 is conservative, I think, for what I think I'm capable of. If I go anything under 123, I'll kind of be shocked, to be completely honest, because I don't think I'm there yet, but that's the goal. The reason why this race is beneficial is it's 6 weeks before the marathon that I'm doing. So I'm doing a marathon on April 5th, and it is going to be the Mount Charleston Revel Marathon. And I know it's cheating. It is what it is. It's cheating in a way. It's cheating in a way. It's not. More like 70-30. And I get it. I think where I'm at in my life and where I want to go, I think it's beneficial for me to try to do it. And here's my plan. Could I go out on a flat course and run a sub 3? Probably. I was pretty close in Chicago, ran a 3:02. With a little bit more training, do I think I could run sub 3? Most likely. I mean, it'd still be hard. Like, don't get me wrong. It's still tough. But Boston got harder. You need a 255, probably need even more because the buffer system, like they're not allowing more people to get into Boston. So it's still gonna be 30,000. People are just gonna train a little bit harder since they gave everybody a year, almost like a year and a half notice. So I get it. In 16 weeks, could I run a 255 on a flat course? Probably not. And I think that I'm not necessarily running out of time, but I'm very impatient. Because if I run a 255 or a 254, maybe I get into Boston, maybe I don't. But if I run under a 253, then I have a good chance of getting into New York City Marathon. And I would love to be able to run New York in November, I'd love to run Boston in April and then November run New York. Or as a backup plan, I could run Chicago because Chicago and Boston are the same. And I don't think there's ever been a buffer for Chicago. I could be wrong, but I don't think they've ever buffered anybody out. So that may be a little bit more likely. I know they buffer out people for New York, I think. I could be wrong. The Mount Charleston Revel Marathon, literally all downhill. It's negative 2.6% incline or whatever every step of the way. Is it unfair? In a way, yes. You're running downhill, it's easier. Is it going to drastically take 30 minutes off your time? Probably not 30 minutes, but I'm looking to be about 12 minutes off my time. If I could run a 250 and definitely secure every one of my goals, that would be great. But I just want to get under 253. That's all I really care about. Will I say it's my PR? I will say it's my PR on a downhill course, and then I'll say my PR on a flat course is my Chicago time. I think that's fair to distinguish. I mean, there's only, these races are, the only reason why they got big is because of that. I mean, they are in the middle of nowhere. They're only famous because the majority of people that run these races get into Boston. They Boston qualify at these races. So I think that's why Boston doesn't want to take them away and make it not fair to get in, because they do provide a lot of people. It provides stimulation for the economies because, you have to fly out to these remote random places, and you're giving to that community with your, room, board, food, whatever. So I think it's almost like a problem that they may have created and now they can't reel it back in a good, professional manner. That's what's next. Some of you may lose respect for me. I get it. I was the biggest hater of these races, but I think what it also comes down to of if me and my wife, we're gonna have kids soon, training while trying to have a kid is very difficult. So I think we want to do all of our life goals before we jump into that process, because you can't qualify for the next year. If you run a race in 2025, you may get to 2027. So I think it's just another way of almost kind of worrying about the timeline future. If I did get into Boston or New York, the goal doesn't change to not run sub 3. The goal's not I can just train very easily. No, the goal is just to get faster and to then break that downhill marathon time. I'm very confident that I'm gonna PR at that race because it seems like everybody else does. Basically, the only thing that kind of changes with the training, I'm pretty much doing the exact same training that I did for my Chicago, but I have a new treadmill. and my treadmill has negative 3% incline or decline. Using that treadmill for some workouts may come into play. I may do some workouts on the track. I may take the track day to the treadmill. It goes up to 14 miles an hour. 14 miles an hour is fast enough to be doing anything that I wouldn't be normally doing on the track. So there is a chance where I'll be doing some of the workouts on the treadmill at a negative grade to kind of get my body prepared for the marathon. I may even do like a long run on the treadmill. It's gonna suck, but simulating that environment on an actual, like, you know, it's close. It's as close as I can get. It's hard to find 10 plus miles downhill in South Carolina. It's just hard. They really don't exist. You have to go to the mountains and then you have to run down the parkway. And I just don't know if that's feasible. I'm also running a half marathon in December, but that's so far away. It's the Kiowa half marathon. I signed up because it was only $75. It's pretty much all right now on the books. I hope to build out a calendar, but it may be June before I kind of like really get serious about what I'm gonna do in the fall, because all eyes are tunneled in on the Mount Charleston race. Yeah, the goal for Mount Charleston is a 2:53. So that's the next series that's going to be populating on this YouTube channel. If you want to follow along, feel free to subscribe, share it, like, comment, tell me you're a hater, tell me you respect it, tell me you don't. It is what it is. I'm prepared for all the backlash that I'm going to get for announcing that I'm running this marathon. So you can take it out on me. I don't care. But that's all I have for this one. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a good one.